Hey, this is Sharita and I back again with another video. So I saw this in some Chi-Town news and this was pretty cool. I think I'm going to go and stop by the site and look at the monument. So let's take a listen.
Just a couple of hours ago, Mayor Lightfoot unveiled a moment honoring Ida B. Wells. It's the city's first ever monument to honor a black woman. And you can go and see it at the site of the former public housing development that bore her name. Wells moved to Chicago from Tennessee just before the turn of the century. She was a key member of the early fight for civil rights, and she was also one of the country's first black investigative reporters.
And while we still have a long way to go before our equity and inclusion is fully rooted in everything that we do in our city, in our state, as a country, Ida B. Wells' lifelong fight for justice has put us that much closer to accomplishing our goal.
Wells was also one of the founders of the NAACP in 1909 as she helped advocate for women's voting rights alongside Susan B. Anthony. She also worked with Jane Addams to help prevent segregated public schools.
Okay, so we don't want to see that.
Well, just a couple of hours ago, Mayor Lightfoot unveiled a moment honoring Ida B. Wells. It's the city's first ever monument to honor a black woman. And you can go and see it at the site of the former public housing development that bore her name. Wells moved to Chicago from Tennessee just before the turn of the century. She was a key member of the early fight for civil rights, and she was also one of the country's first black investigative reporters.
So this is womenshistory.org, which is a recognized academic site when you want to cite sources. And so since Mayor Lori Lightfoot of Chicago has thought to honor Ida B. Wells Barnett, I've done a little bit of research on this nice lady here, being a history major. She was a strong woman, Ida B. Wells. One of the founding women of the black feminist movement. We did have a housing project here in Chicago named for her. Womenshistory.org says, Ida B. Wells Barnett was a prominent journalist, activist, and researcher in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. In her lifetime, she battled sexism, racism, and violence. As a skilled writer, Wells Barnett also used her skills as a journalist to shed light on the conditions of the African Americans throughout the South. We would probably say ADOS now because Africans from the continent have kind of co-opted that, which is true because they are African Americans. So we had to find something that was more befitting. American descendants of slavery. So let's continue talking about the wonderful, powerful Ida B. Wells. Ida Bell Wells was born in Holly Springs, Mississippi on July 16, 1862. She was born into slavery during the Civil War. Once the war ended, Wells Barnett's parents became politically active in Reconstruction era politics. Her parents instilled into her the importance of education. Wells Barnett enrolled at Rust College, but was expelled when she started a dispute with the university president. In 1878, Wells Barnett went to visit her grandmother. While she was there, Wells Barnett was informed that a yellow fever epidemic had hit her hometown. The disease took both of Wells Barnett's parents and her infant brother. Left to raise her brothers and sister, she took a job as a teacher so that she could keep the family together. Eventually, Wells Barnett moved her siblings to Memphis, Tennessee. There she continued to work as an educator. In 1884, Wells Barnett filed a lawsuit. Wow, get that. She filed a lawsuit against a train car company in Memphis, Tennessee. For unfair treatment. She had been thrown off first-class train. Wow, Ida B. Wells. So what I know of Ida B. Wells is that she was helpful to w.e.b. Dubois, of course, because she's one of the founding members of the NAACP, which w.e.b. Dubois, or Du Bois, but it's really Dubois, was also a founding member of this organization. Also, she did work with Jane Addams of Hull House, Susan B. Anthony. She began to work with the white women's feminist movement, and maybe to her surprise or not to her surprise, black women were not as welcome. Let me put it that way. And they were even beaten out of their clothes at one meeting and ran out. But Ida B. Wells was a strong woman and a journalist, an educated black woman. We have a long history of being educated black women in this country. As soon as we could read, as soon as we were allowed to read, this is the things that we did. And so she came and she gave a speech one night, and the Klan came and tried to, what they did, they set the place on fire, but the other black men, they held them off, they fought back, and she was able to escape and run to Chicago. More and more, we need to talk about more strong black women, from antiquity to Reconstruction to now. So, again, thank you, Ida B. Wells. Thank you for your service. And I'm definitely going to go see your statue. This is Sharita and I. Thank you for giving me a moment of your time. And you have a good day. And I'm out.